Timing is everything. Timing is, damn it. Timing, or pacing, can be integral in the immersion of a viewer or a player. A set medium dishes out comedic beats and emotional story elements in perfect pace in order to keep the consumer interested but not overwhelmed. That said, the length of all video games means that this pacing is critical, but sadly so many games just opt to jump back and forth between killing shit and then feeling bad about killing shit.
I don't feel that bad.
And because of the vast variety that games present themselves in, there are many different ways to pace an experience. So today, let's have a look at the best examples of video game pacing. In a short experience like Jusant, pacing is everything. It is required to pull the player in and keep them along for the ride as it dazzles you with marquee visuals and then sets you to work upon its cliff faces. Scaling these cliff faces is a treat. The mechanics are tight and the variety keeps each hold interesting. In time though, this climbing could become boring, but it never does because Jusant always knows when to take a break. And this break can be anything from gliding down a zip line through a cavern of beautiful jellyfish to watching the world come to life around you in an area that you would have previously thought to be dead. Jusant at first can feel like a slog up a giant rock, but its pacing slowly reveals to you how alive that rock is as you work in turn to breathe life back into its caverns and back onto its cliff faces. Each of these moments is a crescendo, a culmination of all the work you did to get to this point, and it means that when you are set back onto those walls and you click back into your piton, you feel an overwhelming sense of determination. But let's take this whole pacing thing and open it up.
So, tell me about your father.
Elden Ring does the impossible by balancing pacing with open world design. It does so by creating a weaving and enthralling world that constantly tugs the player forward to secrets and to bosses. Most open world games let you set off in any direction you want while trying to guide you with little map markers, but Elden Ring pulls you along with your own interest, eventually trapping you into one of its legacy dungeons where you'll fight a key boss and progress through the story. These bosses are the culmination of so much traveling and traversing. As the music pumps and the world vibrates around you, taking them down is this beautiful and undescribable feeling. When you are eventually set back into the world, you are given this desire for exploration and discovery, and the world never lets you down in those terms. The beauty in Elden Ring's pacing is that everything feels like a choice, and that's because it is. But that illusion of choice is always contrasted by your curiosity. In turn, Elden Ring's world feels like a perfectly designed museum as the allure of its exhibits keep the crowd in order. But sometimes the best way to win in life is by overwhelming your opponent. I love you, John. Aww. I'm overwhelmed with emotion. The final piece of pacing perfection is It Takes Two, which, to add context to the very stupid joke that preceded this, opts to overwhelm the player with new mechanics in order to pace the game. And while that is a bold strategy, it works to perfection when a game is designed as flawlessly as It Takes Two is. Every mechanic is a joy to experience, and every location a joy to explore. Each time as you attempt to get comfortable with your surroundings and with your powers, the game hurls you into a whole new setup. From a toy box space where you battle with gravity to an idyllic mountain town where you remagnetize your relationship, it's a constant flow of excitement and joy as you bound through its world with someone that you love. Don't you dare. All this said, pacing is a super subjective thing. What keeps one person on the edge of their seat drawn in for an entire experience might lose someone else to boredom or overwhelmment. For me, Jusant exemplifies the pacing of an intense yet short indie. Elden Ring defines open world exploration and how to corral the player, and It Takes Two throws so many different things at the wall that you constantly are engaged from start to finish. These three are wholly different yet totally viable forms of how to pace a game, pulling you in so tight and immersing you so deep that by the time you set down your controller, you realize just how far they've taken.